Okay, well, I have actually had a bit of an exciting morning so far. I was downstairs doing my workout. We have this downstairs, like most people do, kind of a basement. And I looked out and we have these window wells. And in the window wells, there was a little baby bunny hopping around. So I was like, oh no. So after I got my workout done, I climbed down there and I rescued this sweet little bunny. I'm going to see, I took a picture because I could not believe this little sweet bunny was like hanging out with me. I don't know if I can show you guys. Oh, look at this little bunny. See, I've got a window in front of me. So it kind of, anyways. So then while I was down there, I saw that there was, I know, right? So then while I was down there, I saw that there was a bunny in my neighbor's window well. So we must have, I guess, there's a bunny nest, got to be a bunny nest, right? Somewhere near us. So I didn't climb down into hers. I'm going to do that right after this call and save that bunny. And because I sent her a note and I was like, hey, can I don't want to scare you, but can I climb down there and get that bunny? So, all right, so let's go. Today we are talking about how do we create our personalized plan and transformation plan. And it is kind of something awesome. I love to do this. I absolutely love to do this. So I'm just trying to pull up my transformation plan thing. So let's talk about, first things first, we want to talk about the reality type test. So the reality type test is obviously super easy. The reason I designed this as part of the overall program was pretty obviously, if I see so many plans out there, so many self-help programs, so many empowerment programs and law of attraction and manifestation and all this stuff. They all are like very one size fits all, right? And, one size fits all doesn't work for yoga pants, and it certainly doesn't work for retuning your subconscious mind, right? One size fits all is usually not much of a one size fits all situation. So I noticed pretty early on that there's so many differences in the way that each of us learns and the way the senses that we each kind of rely upon the strongest to be able to create those memory holograms, those new beliefs, those new neural pathways that we want in our minds, right? And so if I gave you guys all a visual exercise and you're not a visual person, you're an auditory learner, it's not going to work for you. And so that's why you see people like very frustrated with trying to visualize and do these like meditations where it's only visual, is because if you're not a visual person and you can't visualize, then that's not how you learn best. So it's interesting because you can probably think back to when you were in school and how you tended to take in information in school. And that's going to basically tell you probably a good amount, although there's, a little bit more that you can find out, but a good amount about how you learn. How do you like to take in information? What are the senses you rely upon the most to kind of sense what's going on around you, to experience reality? And for me, when I was in school, I had to take notes. Even still, when you work with me, well, you've probably seen, even when we've done like, oh, okay, let me put you off mute and let's talk. I've always got a pen in my hand and I've always got a notebook. And the reason for that is because I need movement. I'm a visual learner. I'm a tactile person. I'm actually, again, with empaths, we tend to be more like all our senses are turned on. But so for me, if I have the movement of actually physically writing and I have the tactile experience of hand holding, and I also have to, I don't know if anybody else, do you have like a favorite brand of pens? Because like I want a pen that rolls across the paper because I'm writing so fast. I like it to have like a certain tactile feel. I have certain, yeah. What's your brand? Donna, Joan, tell me, what's your brand? Because what is this sucker? The Profile Ball by Papermate. And so this one, it's like you try so many, I know. It's so funny. Sort of on the subject. So my sweet little daughter is a big time ballpoint. Yeah, I know, right? You got to have this nice little, and in this case has this lovely little feel right here. So my sweet little daughter is actually, I think I've mentioned it before, almost more of an empath than me. And we couldn't figure out why she didn't want to practice writing at school. We kept getting this feedback from her teachers last year that like, she doesn't want to practice writing. She doesn't want to practice writing. And at home, we're like, well, she's writing all the time, drawing all the time, very creative, very creative. And we noticed she was never using a pencil at home. She was only using some of mom's pens. And so I finally asked her, I was like, hey, you only use the pens. Like, why do you only use the pens? She said, I don't like writing at school because I have to use pencils and I don't like the way it feels going across the page. And I don't like the sound of the pencil. Problem solved. We sent her to school with pens. So this is exactly what I mean. Like, this is the kind of stuff that especially those of us that are empaths, we're really sensitive to this stuff. And it's very important when we build your program that it takes all of that into account so it can be easy for you. It can be enjoyable for you. It can be something you look forward to integrating into your day. So if you've taken the reality test, certainly feel free, pop your results in. I'm going to check the live stream as well. Oh, that sweet little bunny. Oh my gosh, this bunny just like, yes, lovely journals. Oh my God, you and me both. The amount of journals I have in this, I got this one. I've got another one over here. I don't know if I should move that one. It's an empty one. So it's sitting there waiting to be used. Oh, this is my favorite one. Oh, this is the one I use in the morning when I'm doing my practices. Oh guys, this one's the stuff right here. So it's by Raven Felon. She has a bunch of these, but she has, let me see if I can show you the loveliness that is in here. Well, I'll tell you what happened. So I was on a retreat with my spiritual business coach anyways, and she did a retreat and she brought a whole bunch of totally different kinds of journals. And then we each basically got to sort of pick the journal that we want and I ended up being last. So this, for some reason, like they were wrapped up, so you didn't know what any journal looked like. So I picked this one, I grabbed this one and I open it up, and you guys, so since I was young, I always was aware of a spirit guide around me that is an older man with a white beard, long flowing white hair, and he has a lantern. And when I meditate, I can see him come forward and he'll like put the lantern, it's like he's putting the light into my chest. So speaking of a visual learner, I'm very visual, right? And like when I'm working with people, for instance, on the healing stuff, I'm very visual. I can just see things sometimes. And so I open this up, and I've always loved owls and wolves. And I open up this journal, and hawks. Hawks are always flying me, like when I know that I've got a good thing. Anyways, in this journal, look at this. That is literally what he looks like exactly what he looks like. So talk about crazy. Sometimes you get things like this, and then I swear to you, I have hawks following me. Like I'll be thinking about something to do next for people, or like a new project or program, and I'll get a hawk. Anyways, isn't that crazy? That's him. Anyway, so this one I highly recommend for anybody who loves a good journal. It has really nice pages. They feel really good. They've got tons of gorgeous illustrations here and there throughout. There you go. So Raven Felon. Okay, so if you've got your reality type of results, sight, touch, movement 9. Yeah, okay. I'm not surprised. Sight, sound, smell, taste 6. Fantastic. Okay, Joan. Yep. I'm not surprised. Again, notice how close those are at the top, and you're getting like 3 at the top, right? So for you, right off the bat, one of the things we may want to think about is just like what I was saying in college. I got off track. In college, I used to write, and I would actually write the almost to the word what my professor was saying. So if I had a friend who missed class that day, everybody knew, like, ask to get Tara's notebook, because it's going to be like the whole class was written down. So for you, something that's going to be like a writing thing, right? With like a really lovely journal that feels really good to you, and that with a pen that's going to feel really good. Oh yeah, so see, oh, that's interesting. So it's always interesting to me because my empath folks, which I think you guys both are, and I need to look at the live stream as well, we always have high numbers in multiple ones, right? And so it's just the way that we process things. Okay, hang on. Let's see, let me go to the live stream real quick and just make sure. Here we are, okay. Go down here, make sure my volume's turned down. Don't need to listen to myself. Okay, great. Okay, so if you're in the live stream, you can place that there too. Okay, great. Now let's get to the fun part. We're going to start designing out some practices for you. So I know you guys were with me and we were able to come up with maybe some of the retuning statements. So you're going to want to have those retuning statements. Let me also pull up my screen here in just one quick second. And we're gonna pull that down. Okay, one sec, guys. Sorry about that. It's just taking a second for my thing to come up. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna talk in a second about what this looks like. Let's see, I don't need that up. There we go. And go to downloads. Where's my downloads? There they are. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen, and we're gonna go here first. Okay. So I'm going to just walk you through. So you've got this download within the program, and it is a 40-day, in yours, I say a 40-day manifestation plan. So it's a little bit different than what this is, but it's generally the same. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to go down here and you're going to just put down your flow factor results. And then you're going to want to, you can even jot down the flow factor interpretation, kind of what we talked through the other day. What does that mean? Where are you going with that, etc. But the most important part is you're going to have your reality type. Okay, so you've got your reality type. You're going to just put that down, and then your customized retuning statement. So those are the ones that we've talked about, the ones maybe you've chosen and picked because they really work for you. And here is your customized plan. So what you want to do are the 4 practices or exercises a day you've chosen or created. Okay, and then if you have any additional exercises or resources, which we can talk about, then you're going to have a lovely contract with yourself. Why do I have a contract with yourself in this plan? There's a really simple reason. And the reason is that research shows that if you sign a contract with yourself, you are 50% more likely to succeed. So that's a good reason right off. The other reason is that this is something you can actually print out and put up in your office, put up in your bedroom, put up on your bathroom mirror, wherever. And it's going to remind you of your commitment to doing your practices each day. And again, we're only going to look, I call it the 4 for 40 because we're going to design out 4 practices, and you're going to do those 4 practices along with your retuning statements, along with your emotional, like meditations and things like that. And meditation, any of the manifestation meditations can be one of your practices. And you're going to do those for 40 days. Why 40 days? So I did a crazy amount of research on habits and, oh, my husband, thank you. Thanks. Oh, a coffee drop. That was very nice. Okay. Yes. Everyone needs a wonderful guy or person, whoever, doesn't matter to me, in your life like that. Habits. So I did a crazy amount of research into habits and what habits. How do you form habits? Because forming, all a habit is a trigger. All a trigger is new neural pathways that have connected and become like a memory hologram. And so when we have certain things happen, we have certain automatic responses. That's literally in the most simplistic manner. That's what it is. Okay. And so I wanted to know, how long does it take for us to create these new neural pathways? And how long does it take for us to have those new associations, those new triggers, right? So like, let's say you want to get up at 5 in the morning and start working out. The first few days, it's going to suck. And eventually your body is going to be trained that you get up at 5 to go work out, right? It's not fun at first because you're retuning that trigger of 5 a.m. equals get up and work out, okay? So I wanted to know, how long does it normally take? So there's a ton of research and they show so many different dates, but about where people can agree on the amount of time is 40 days. Now, in addition to that, there's ways to make that easier and to kind of empower and speed up the process. And that is always to make sure that you're bringing those high state emotions along with you. So feeling how you're going to be feeling as you live this life that you desire, right? You want to keep tuning into those and then doing the practices. All right. So this is your lovely contract and you can sign that with yourself. Also, I love as you do this to create your inspiration team. What does that mean? The inspiration team are just things that you can do that are going to help you to realign with joy, with excitement, with, breaking out of feeling down or stressed, and again, never deny your feelings. Again, we've talked about in station 4, it's okay to be angry and it's okay to be sad and it's okay to be whatever off for the day. That's totally okay. Happened to me last week. I was actually really off for like a day, and that's okay. Like, it's okay. You need to acknowledge it and be able to learn from it and do all of that. What I mean is that when you're feeling uninspired or like, I can't do this or any of those kinds of things, what can you go to really quickly that's going to pop you up, lift you up? Okay. So to give you some ideas from what I do is one is, honestly, I read my book, because then I read it and I'm like, it's good. It's so good. Why do I ever doubt anything? So that's one. I have a couple other books that I absolutely love. Sonia Choquette, Your Heart's Desire is one. I have Rumi, who I absolutely love, if you're familiar. Anyways, those ones are ones that I absolutely love. But other things I do that really help me to get that feeling is I put on music that I love and I dance. I dance around like a crazy person. A little known fact, I used to be a hip hop choreographer for cheer and dance teams back in college. And then for a while after college, it was just one of the side things I did. It wasn't my main job, but I loved it. So I will put on some sort of that kind of music, or I'll get in my car. I love to drive, and I will get in my car. I have a little Mini Cooper and she's super fun to drive. Actually, she's not a he. My daughter decided we were calling her Hagrid. It's kind of green with these cool stripes, dark green. It's like a British green. And my daughter decided we should call it Hagrid because it was funny, because Hagrid is this huge man from Harry Potter and the car is quite little. So I might get in there, get in my Mini, get in Hagrid and go put on music, roll down the windows and really dance and sing. And I'm that person on the road. That will almost always pop me out. We also have a gorgeous nature preserve that's like behind us that has like bison, and we get bald eagles sometimes. So sometimes I'll just take a drive through there, which is amazing. Or I will get out. There's like beautiful little walks around like this little lake. Obviously not by the bison. The bison are behind another fence. You don't get out with bison, but you go on like these cute little nature hikes. Or our botanic gardens is heaven for me. Heaven. Or like an old school, there's a couple old school bookstores, with like the cafe out front and people sitting around conversing and talking about things. Like, that's heaven for me. Those things will just get me right out of any funk that I have. I love my daughter is she is such a treasure, is what she is. You guys, so many stories. That kid is, oh my God, she's an original. You know what? All I hope is that, I get all teary talking about her, but all I hope is that I can continue to guide her to be her most unique, authentic, amazing self and to never doubt it. So anyways, so those are the fun things. I don't know if anybody can, while I'm talking about this, maybe you guys can think of some like inspiration team stuff. Also, I love having a celebration partner. So either you guys can connect, because I think several of you have just beautiful energy, and everybody that's been in here actually has beautiful energy. So you could connect and be celebration partners for each other. You can post in the group is a great way. Guys, do not forget that. Post in the group. So if you need support, if you're having a celebration, like I had this inspiration today and this is what happened. Those are ways to get like this oomph, right? Or if you have someone in your life that you can call and be like, hey, this awesome thing happened, or hey, I need a little pick me up today, and that they are a person who unconditionally supports and loves you, then that's a perfect person to also do. Okay. And then the final thing is, and we'll go back to designing your practices here, is the just for me. And what that means is I really want you to make at least one date with yourself, basically, to do something that is just for you, that just is uplifting, is, just something that speaks to your heart. So I've had people that I've worked with, take themselves out to an independent movie once a week on their own. I had one lady who she had a lot going on, and she just wanted an hour every Sunday to go walk around her garden. She loved her garden. She wanted to just walk around her garden, have her husband take care of the kids for an hour, and just walk around a garden. Other people, like one of mine is, you know, a bubble bath once a week. I actually take baths a lot. I love baths, but like that's one where, you know, and when I say this, I want you to make this like a literal appointment with yourself. So I don't know if you guys can think of something you would do that would make you just be so happy. I had somebody, one person, actually she's in my practitioner training. She decided she was going to go out once a week to this like really luxurious hotel, have a mimosa, and sit and read something inspiring for an hour by herself. And so that for her was like to tune her into that like alignment she wanted to be in. Okay. So then you can even sign it, start date, end date of these 40 days. So again, as we talked about yesterday, I want you to make sure like you're thinking about this in 40-day chunks. So you want to say like, okay, this is my top station. So I'm going to work through this one for this 40 days. And then I know after I get through that, I'm going to work through that. Okay. Let's see, where can I find a copy of the transformation plan? It should be, I will double check and send you, I'll also link it. I actually also link it. Is it in the group? Hang on one second, guys. I think I actually also put it in the files in the group. I think I did. Hang on one second, guys. Hang on. Sure. Oh, it's not in the group yet. I'll make sure it's also uploaded in the group. It should also be, I think it's on the starting page in the portal. Regardless, I'll have it up. And I'll make sure to link you guys so you're aware of where it's at. And it is a slightly different one because I did a manifestation plan for you guys. It's slightly different than that. The one that I'm showing you now is what I use for clients. So, but I will absolutely link it. Thank you for letting me know, because I was certain that I had uploaded it into the group, but I did not. So that will go up in a minute. Okay, so let's now talk about the practices that we want to create for you. So let me stop the share here, and I'm going to, let's share that. Okay, there it is. Okay. All right, so here's the reality type test from the book. Obviously, since you guys took it, you're good. And we're gonna go down here. Here we go. So I'm gonna show you for every single one. We're just looking to create 4 practices that go along with your retuning statements that you're gonna do each day. 4 easy practices. These need to be something you will enjoy, something that is comforting, empowering, and good. I wanted to create this in a way that you could easily implement this into your day-to-day life in a way that was not intrusive. Okay, so let's take a look. One thing that is extremely helpful and will be able to really empower anything that you're doing is, no, let me go back and look at your, where's my chat? I know, I'm gonna stop share for a second because I've lost my chat. Okay, chat. Okay, let me see the chat. So I want to look at, okay, sight. So Joan, sight is top for you. Donna, yours, we're going to look at sight too for you. Sight, touch, movement, sound, smell. Okay, let me put this down. I'm just going to, okay. Okay, so we're going to start with sight. Let's start with sight. Touch, both touch. Yeah, and Joan, you almost could pick from anything. So when you could pick from multiple things, what I like to do is create a combination practice that hits all of those things, okay? So let me go back to sharing screen. Okay. All right, so here's what's super helpful. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. That way I can see your chat. Okay. What's super helpful is that you can go through these questions at the beginning of each of these areas is such, this is honestly, and I'm gonna, anybody else like Seinfeld? It's gold, but it's gold. This is honestly, if you know these things about yourself, you can create endless practices and endless things throughout your day, throughout your life, that are going to help you on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So this is where these lovely little journal things actually end up being like you creating a roadmap for yourself on how is it easiest for you to access new information and bring that in. So you're going to want what I'm going to actually probably take each of you guys that are here live off mute in a second, and I'm going to help you come up with at least a couple of these. But what you're going to want to do is for sight. Okay. Sit down and answer these questions. What color would you associate with each retuning statement or with the feeling of the retuning statement that you've got? Okay, the retuning statements that you have. So go in reading that retuning statement and going like, I deserve all possibility, for instance, would be one. And that for me would feel expansive. And so if I thought about an expansive color for me, it would be light yellow. I don't know why, but again, it's going to be different for each person. In fact, let me ask you guys right now. Let's say I asked you to pick a color that felt expansive to you. Just put in the chat, and we see on the live as well. You can put in the chat, there we go. What would be expansive for you? What color would be expansive? Light turquoise blue, light blue. I'm telling you, you two have to be friends. Light blue, light turquoise blue. I'm light yellow. So right there, I'm just wanting to showcase right here, okay? Just in our little group right now, each of us has a different color that we would resonate with as expansive. So if I gave you, imagine light yellow, because that's the expansive color, I'm dictating to you what my association is, but it's not your association, so it's not as powerful for you. Right? This is why it's so important that we find the powerful things for you individually. And this is why I was just talking to my husband yesterday. I just can't, I have to personalize things like you would not believe. And it causes me to have, like, it takes me a good couple hours after any private session that I do with someone, because I am going to the point of like fine tuning every single thing, which is probably sometimes over the top. But this is why though, because you need your own touch points here, okay? Okay, and you sometimes, does a picture come to mind? What does that, how about that picture? How does that emotionally feel? Do you associate a style of dress? So one thing is, if you're a person who is both tactile, so I know we had touch and, let me scroll up. Was it, I think it's Donna that had, no, okay, touch. Oh, you guys both had touch. Okay, both had touch and sight, excellent. Okay, so with touch, okay, that's going to be something, it could be like this shirt, like I say, I'm very tactile. So like a shirt, for instance, has to really feel good to me. Teal happens to be a color I absolutely love. Obviously I have my hair, I have it here. And so for something like that, you could have sight and touch associated with some sort of fabric. I know Donna, we talked about the other day when we were talking about like some practices to kind of help some things, like getting a soft blanket that's a certain color, right? That makes you feel safe and empowered. And so that's something that can be like that kind of a thing. And that's where you might, minky blanket. I know, I am with you. I actually have a blanket on my legs now. I have a blanket at all times. Nice soft blanket. This is actually it's actually my husband got me. It's a peacock blanket because I love peacocks. And so yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. So let's go. And then there's sometimes could be physical objects that you might want to have that you could see. A colored candle is a great one, okay? Especially if you have smell and sight, like let's say you were trying to work with something that was expansive. You might want to get a light turquoise candle that has a scent that feels expansive to you as well. And that you could look at and relax. And as you're looking at it and you're connecting with that feeling of expansiveness, you're doing your retuning statements. And now we've hit a bunch of your reality type, your highest senses, and connected it to those retuning statements. So does this make sense? How you kind of, the overall idea of how to create this? Let's go down here. Let's do a couple more. So you guys had smell. Sorry, it keeps going up in the chat. So, okay. Yeah, Joan, I'm gonna really recommend, actually for both of you guys, we're gonna want to create some that pull from all of them together. The more that we can pull from together, since you have strong ones, multiple strong ones, a lot of times there will be, if people are like not empathic, they'll usually show up with two that are very high. People that are empathic will show up with a whole bunch. So smell, touch, sight. Okay. So Joan, we've got sound. Okay, so here sound is a fun one because you can pick something like, if you really love music, you can pick some sort of song that is like, you could put and it does not matter to me what song it is. Like it could be any song that speaks to you. I was just working with a client the other day and she likes I think it's like country gospel music. I'm not sure exactly what genre. It's like country gospel, if that's a genre, I guess. And wouldn't probably be my particular thing, but she loves it. And so for her, there was a song we were talking about helping her to get rid of fear. And I forget what the song is, but it's like a Christian country gospel-y song, I guess, that's like no fear. And so she's going to use that one. It's not the one I would use. That would not probably resonate with me at all. Mine's probably going to be something altogether different, but that's one she's going to put on in the morning, and that kind of gets her up and gets her going. I've had people who've changed their ringtones on their phones to something that every time it rings, you know, especially if you're a person who's like, oh God, it's going to be bad news, right? If you have like that anxiety trigger towards phones, changing your ringtone to like a song that you love is a really good way to do this. Classical. You guys, I swear you should be friends. Oh yeah, pocket bells can. Oh yeah. So, and my husband loves symphonic classical music as well. And he's hilarious because he used to have a Camaro, and you'd think you'd get in the Camaro. He did like AC/DC growing up. You'd think you'd get in the Camaro and you'd be like, you know, jamming out to something, and get in and you'd be like Bach and Brahms and Beethoven. And so again, you see what I mean? Like, you know, I can't just hand that to somebody. For him, it's like he's driving in his Camaro with like classical music going, right? We are all unique beings, and we have to speak and feel to ourselves as unique beings. Okay, let's go down. So sound can be a lot of things. Sound can also be, this one I love. Okay, so if you guys can all do, you both had sound. If you can do this one, look at the following words: love, happiness, peace, health. So what we're really creating here, and I know I said it a second ago, is like your own personal roadmap that you can come back to again and again and be like, all right, I need something that's going to help me feel love right now. And I know I need it to be auditory. And so I'm going to do this. Okay. This is going to, you can literally, if you keep this just in a journal, that's just your reality type work, you can come back to it, come back to it, come back to it. Okay. So what sounds do you associate with each of these words or concepts? Okay. Is there a song you'd associate with each? Now you can keep your own personal playlist. I actually have a playlist on my phone that's like my happy playlist and my, you know, success playlist and my well-being playlist. And they're all very, I like a lot of different kinds of music, and they're all very different kinds of music. Okay. Okay, so love holding my gems and stones. Oh, I know. Oh my God, Donna, I'm so with you. I'm telling you, like, this one, my Himalayan sea salt heart is like, oh, I love it. There's something about it. It just feels really good. And I actually hold it quite a bit when I'm actually doing this or working with people, because there's weight to it, and something about it just helps me feel centered. I also have a little spirit quartz, I think it's called. I love this little guy. So yeah, I have these all over. And here is, so in Colorado, sometimes big chunks of things will wash down the creeks, and you can get in a mountain creek, and you hold a crystal while I meditate. Yeah, me too. What kind of crystal? What are your favorite? What are your favorite crystals? I'd love to hear that. So this is my rose quartz that my daughter and I found while in a creek. There had been a lot of rain, and they rolled down into this little pool at the bottom of the creek. Rose quartz, me too. And then I think this is fluorite. We found that in the creek, and we found this lovely piece of regular quartz in the creek. And so I have these here because not only do I love all those crystals, but they hold that memory. A Lemurian quartz. Oh yeah, those are beautiful. That they hold this memory for me, right? My daughter we go into crystal stores, and she'll go like this and put her hand over the crystals until she finds the one that's calling to her. The people in the crystal store get a big kick out of her. Okay, so here's sound. We're gonna just look. Same thing for smell. Smell is such a strong one. So if you have smell in yours, as I know you guys do, if you have smell in yours, that is such a strong one to use. So strong. Hand blown glass paper weight. Yeah, and it's that same, right? And you probably have a nice memory attached to that, where it's like there's weight to it, and it's tactile, and it's just, there's something about that. I totally agree. So for smell, let's do this. Like, what would be the smell of success for you guys if you have one? Lavender. Awesome. Everywhere. I know, I love lavender myself. I love lavender and eucalyptus together because it smells like a spa. And so that I have essential oil things that we have running in the house, something fresh and green. Okay, see, and again, lavender or something fresh and green. Like there's something about, that for me, there's a real clearing smell, is like that smell of juniper. And that's why Gold Canyon candles. Oh, gotta check those out. That's why I use the walking into the forest quite a bit on my meditations, because not only is that it feels, it's that coolness of moving into kind of a hidden space as well, but then there can also be that olfactory sense of that scent of pine and mulch and earth and that kind of thing as well. Okay, so there's smell. Okay, now again, underneath those questions, you'll see exercises. Okay, so you can literally, these exercises, you can go through them and be like, all right, I'm going to get this oil and I'm going to hold this crystal and I'm going to have this candle going and that thing together with I'm going to tune into happiness and joy, which now that I say, I'm going to put a happiness reset meditation into the group, because it'll be a nice thing. You can actually retune frostbeard candles. Wow, you guys are like a source for me today. All right. I'm a candle junkie. So I'm a total candle junkie. I cannot go anywhere with candles without I have to smell like all the candles. Okay, so, yes. Oh, this is one that I really, really like. So for people with a smell, this is such a good one, you guys. And I'm going to add to it with something you can do that I highly recommend as one of your practices if you have scent and movement and touch, which I think you guys do. So this would be a really good one. Make a spray bottle for different emotions or desires. So you can actually take just get empty spray bottles, get different essential oils, go around and smell different things, smell different. Like I love going to you can go to Whole Foods, you can go to so many new agey stores or whatever, and they'll have tons of essential oils, right? And you smell all of them and you go, okay, what does that smell? Like for me, happy smell is like orange blossom. I could smell orange blossom all day long. And it just is so uplifting to me. So that's like that neroli oil. And so a lot of times, so in my happy spray, I will make a happy spray by dropping about 30 drops of the neroli oil in there with a bunch of water into an empty spray bottle. And you can spray that all around your space, so that you're literally you can do that first thing in the morning. I wake up in the morning and I spray some, because it's like one of the first things. It's like, okay, I'm aligning myself right now to joy and happiness and alertness and awakeness. Okay. Prosperity spray, healthy spray. So you can literally go through all of these and find specific things, and then you can make your own, a whole bunch of spray bottles and use them. Here's the additional thing that I love to do, and I would highly recommend as a practice for you guys as well. It's basically clearing your space, owning your space, okay? A lot of times we don't realize, especially when we're empaths, how much we're picking up other people's energy, and we aren't actively setting healthy boundaries for ourselves. One of the ways to do that is to take and kind of clear the space by taking your spray, and it can be a spray that's very just uplifting and empowering to you. And you actually go into each room, you go into the corner of each room, okay? So every corner, and you go through and you're spraying the spray into the corner, like all the way up and down the corner. And you're literally saying, I release all negativity, all fear, all worry, all anxiety. I release anything that's not for my highest good. Only love, peace, joy, hope, and all good things may remain here. That's, as you can tell, that's what I do all the time. All the time. I actually do it also with a sage stick, because I love the smell of the smudge sticks. You can do it with anything you want to, but an essential oil is a really nice, fresh way to do it, especially if you're working with finding a really certain goal there. Okay. Let me see here. Can you write that for us? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Make my own deodorant with orange vanilla. Ooh, that's nice. Different diffusers for essential oils. Yeah, I do too. I have them all over the house. I have one actually going right now in the office. Yeah, I'd absolutely be happy to write that for you. Okay, but yes, I do that. It is I can't even tell you. So it's one of the things I actually teach in my practitioner certification very early on, is how to essentially clear your space. Because when we don't clear our space, especially if you're working as a healer, or you're just an empath, you're just a person who's inherently trying to help the world, and you're picking up everything. When we don't claim our own space, we don't clear our own space, we can get so stuck. We can be acting from emotional places that are not really our own emotions, because we are pulling those in at a very different level and we don't know we're attached to them. So yeah, so that clearing is actually one of the things that I teach on how to clear your whole, and you can do this with your whole house, you guys. If you're interested in doing it, you can do it with your whole house. So what I do usually is I start way down in the basement where that sweet little bunny was today, and I go all the way around the basement, and I seal, like, we have our mudroom door down there coming in from our garage. Our garage is, I have this like tall skinny house, and so our garage is underneath, and I seal that. I say, you know, nothing negative may enter this space. Only love and positivity and joy may remain. And then I go up the stairs and I clear the stairs, and I go to the next floor and I clear that, and I go up the next floor and I clear that, and I go to the top floor where I'm at right now. And we have a lovely covered porch on the front. And I literally, what you want to do is you can designate, and again, you guys, I would highly recommend for both of you, this would be such, even if you're just clearing the space, your bedroom or your office or wherever you are most in the day, it would be such a good practice along with your retuning statements. So the final thing I do though is we have French doors that lead out to our like covered deck. And I will go to those doors and I will just close my eyes and I will literally say, the house is now clear. I claim this space. Only love and joy and peace and all good things, all for our highest good, may remain. When I open these doors, any last remaining negative or difficult energy must go out. And I open up the doors and spray that, go outside, spray that, or use the smudge stick and spray that. I usually do it. One of the things you can do as well, so this is a good one for movement, is I will actually use if I'm using my smudge stick, I use a feather to like move the smoke, and I'll literally do the feather, and I'll do it so one of the things I am is a Reiki master. And I always resonated with this lovely Reiki symbol that it's like Choku-rei. Anyways, it's like a spiral. It almost looks like a musical note, but a spiral. And so I love spirals. And so I will make that symbol, but you could use literally any symbol. Like the lady that I was just talking about the other day, or that does like the gospel country, for her, a powerful symbol was actually a cross. And so when I was having her clear her space, because she has some things going on, I was like, okay, I would finish it with something. So it's basically whatever, again, is powerful to you. And I'm realizing how long we've gone. I'm sorry, it's 9. I know it's 50 minutes. I'm really appreciative that you guys have stuck with me here. So I'll tell you what I'm going to have you do is, if you can, start to go through each of these reality type sections and go through the ones that you have and answer the questions. Start creating your own little dictionary, essentially, roadmap for yourself on what you resonate with. Then what we will do is the next session, I'll unmute you guys and we will go through and I'll help you make sure that what you've got is exactly tuned to you. Since we've run so long today, I won't do it this second, but it would actually be helpful for you to go through these. So the things after this I'm going to put up is I will write that clearing practice for you and I'll put that up. And I will also make sure it's uploaded into the portal and into the group to have your manifestation plan that you can work with and set. And so that's what we'll do next session. We will make sure that we go through this. And if you want to bring any of your results with that, what we can do is make sure you've got those perfect things. So we'll just do it in 2 parts. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I hope this was hugely helpful. As I said, the more you know about how you take in new information in the strongest ways, the more effective you're going to be in general. It's going to help you so much when you realize, like, sometimes because of how we take certain things in, we can get overstimulated. So if you are an auditory person and it's too much auditory information, for instance, that can be an overstimulating place for you. So it also brings some awareness for you on what are the areas or the things that might also overwhelm you, as well as calm you or help you tune into the right things. Okay, so we will finish here. Next session, we will go ahead and make sure that we do a little bit more of the personalized. Thank you guys so much for being here. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll post some more stuff. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Joan. Thank you all you guys on the live stream as well, and anybody watching in replay. So glad you guys are here. And as always, please post if you need something in the group as well. All right, I'll see you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day today.